slideshow presentation is about the 4 pillars of good health, the foundation for your life. So what's holding us back? We're actually a pretty unhealthy society. We eat the wrong foods and we eat too much of them. And let's face it, they're pretty easy to get. We spend way too much time sitting down. As I'm recording this, I am sitting at my computer where I spend the better part of my day as a writer. But after hours, what do? We watch TV or we play video games. We don't get enough sleep. Let's face it, a lot of us are staying up late to watch TV or play our video games or just can't fall asleep. And we're stressed. And we don't have to be students to still be stressed. Everyone has some serious stress levels, whether they realize it or not. It's a vicious circle, and it takes a toll on us. As a result, 10.3% of the U.S. population says that they are in fair or poor health. Even worse, the leading cause of death in the United States is heart disease. So why do we want to shore up our foundations? I think these are pretty good reasons. So what are the first pillar is nutrition. And just for basics, you can go to choosemyplate.gov and get an idea of what should be on your plate at every meal. But ultimately, you want a variety of fruits and vegetables. And when I say a variety of fruits and vegetables, go easy on the fruits and heavier on the vegetables. Leafy green vegetables are your friend. Broccoli is your friend. Brussels sprouts are your friend. And I know that some of you are cringing at these, but they are pretty good, especially if you roast them with a little bit of olive oil. When you're choosing grains, choose whole grains. Choose things like Ezekiel bread or oatmeal. Rice is always great. Sweet potatoes. Keep the portions small to about maybe the size of your fist. I usually keep my rice portion to about half a cup. If you're larger than me, which you probably are, you may want more. Other good sources of whole grains are whole wheat pasta or even gluten-free pasta. When you have dairy, have low-fat dairy. It can be skim milk, it can be Greek yogurt. I try and go for Greek yogurt that doesn't have as much sugar, and I recommend the Dannon Oikos 000 if you like that. And protein, lean protein. Chicken, fish, lean cuts of beef. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, there are plenty of options out there for you as well. I recently discovered black bean pasta and think it's probably the best thing since sliced bread. Recommendations for getting enough exercise is 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 5 days per week. So you're working hard, you're sweating a little bit, but you're not gasping for breath. Or 25 minutes of vigorous activity 3 days per week. So something like 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 5 days per week would be a cardio class, maybe a cardio dance class, a brisk walk, some time on the elliptical, pushing yourself a little but not too much. Lifting weights is also a great way to exercise, as is yoga. Vigorous exercise can be running, it can be cycling hard, going hard on your cardio, doing CrossFit, whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy. And as a bonus for exercise, aim for moderate to high intensity strength training 2 days per week. So lift a little heavier. Yes, even women, I promise you, you will not get bulky. No one on God's green earth would call me bulky, and for my size, I actually lift pretty heavy. Pillar number 3 is sleep. And adults need about 7 to 9 hours per night of sleep. And it's hard. It's hard to get that much sleep. The recommendations for this are to turn off your electronic devices and your blue light devices about an hour before you go to bed. Keep your room coolish and darkish. Don't let your pets in your room. Don't use your bed for anything other than being intimate and sleeping. There's all sorts of recommendations, but you need to find out what works for you. Some people like to have a cup of chamomile tea and read a book for half an hour before they fall asleep, and that's perfectly fine. What I would recommend is avoiding alcohol before bed, because that more knocks you out than puts you to sleep, and to avoid caffeine after about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So that cup of coffee that might be perking you up to power through the last couple hours of your day could also be keeping you awake at night. And finally, if you're having trouble falling asleep, this is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor about this, but you may benefit from taking a small amount of melatonin. Again, talk to your doctor about this. It's something that's worked for me, but it may not work for you. So it's not medical advice. It's just, again, what's worked for me. Well, we can find something we enjoy, a hobby, something that makes us feel accomplished. Some people turn to adult coloring, which is awesome. I'm a big fan of going after artistic pursuits. Other people read novels, cross-stitch, go for runs, meditate, do yoga. Whatever is enjoyable that can take our minds off of whatever's stressing us out. Practice daily relaxation. Meditating is always good, some gentle restorative yoga, just sitting and breathing. And I feel like such a Pollyanna saying this, but adopt a positive attitude. And I'll be the first one to tell you it is hard. It is hard to look around and say, oh, everything's wonderful. And sometimes things aren't wonderful. But instead of, I can't, I will. Instead of, well, this sucks. This is hard, but I'll get through it. Again, not everything's going to be perfect, and you're going to have stress in your life, but being able to better manage it will ultimately be better for your health. And then once you have those 4 pillars down, what are you going to build on them? When you have a solid foundation for your health, what can you do? Can you build a better career? Can you build better relations with your family? Will you have more energy to do things that you want to do?